Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here. Before we get into today's episode, which should be a really fun one, it is the grudge match. Let's buy a lumberjack and also open up the special summer offers. Some of you have summer offer and then some of you have Ramadan offer. It's essentially for Ramadan, but not everybody celebrates that. So in the West, it's called a summer offer. So I want to see what I get here. I'm hoping for some legendaries. Okay, an ice wizard. I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and buy the magical chest offer, then we'll hop into today's video. It's going to be the grudge match between Peppe and Surgical Goblin. Of course, I'll give you the whole backstory once we get into the video, but first, you know, do a little bonus chest opening. Come on, something good, baby. Something good. Give me some good epics. Give me some good epic.
Why does this always happen? Why does this always happen to me? Why does this always happen? Why does this
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. I hate clone, I hate clone, I hate clone. And you guys know, if those of you who've been watching the channel for a while, that every time I open up a chest on the bloody video, it seems like I always get clones. Anyway, that's not why we're here today, to listen to Ash complain. Rather, it's to introduce you guys to a brand new series that I think you guys are really going to enjoy. It is Pro v Pro Special Edition Grudge Match. So basically, I went out and I found two pros in the community, I've been wanting to do this for a while, who have beef with each other. And I asked them to settle it with a duel on CWA, just like the commercials say. So I thought this would be a fun alternative to just going back and forth on Twitter to settle a grudge between two pros. And what better pros to have on the channel than Surgical Goblin and Peppe for the very first grudge match. Now, a quick disclaimer, this does not replace or change anything in the regular Pro v Pro series on CWA. Marcel P is still the pro to beat, and Tag will be facing him in the next couple days, so you guys can expect that on the channel in the next couple days. Now, a quick backstory between Surgical Goblin and Peppe. So, Surgical Goblin and Peppe, both really good players. Peppe is one of Italy's best players in the world. He's a part of Nova, he's a part of Alpha Esports, he's also a part of Gladiators, which is Guanex's clan. So just a really good resume, and you guys all know Surgical Goblin, YouTuber. He's an absolute pro as well. And these guys went and faced each other as part of the Crown Championship Global Series in the bracket round, and Peppe beat Surgical Goblin 2-0 in a best of 3. So Surgical Goblin had to leave, he was done for the evening, and Peppe moved on. Now, all the drama is surrounding what happened from there on out. After the second match, Surgical put in chat that it was 1-1, let's play our third match, when in reality it was 2-0. Now there was some confusion there. Some people said that the administrators put it on the website incorrectly, so that's why there was confusion. Either way, there was some scoring confusion, but either way, Surgical did end up just leaving the clan, and that was it. Peppe moved on, and then Peppe had to leave. So the administrators then contacted Surgical Goblin, invited him back into the tournament, and wouldn't you know, Surgical Goblin went undefeated after that and went on to win the bracket, okay? And then afterwards, some administrators said that Peppe failed to provide valid age identification papers or forms or whatever. And that was just not the truth. It was an administrative error, a pretty bad one, you know, let's be blunt here. And it made Peppe kind of look bad because Peppe was telling everybody he just had to leave, and he didn't think the Surgical Goblin should come back in his spot. He thought one of his other opponents, who was later in the tournament, should take Surgical's spot. But Surgical made him look bad too, because first here he was putting in the chat that it was 1-1, and then all of a sudden he's back and he's the winner after he just got swept by Peppe. So both of these players looking kind of weird. In reality, I think that, you know, I don't really think that either of them deserve a huge amount of blame here. I think the administrators should have entered it incorrectly, and then they should never have said that Peppe was disqualified if he left. I mean, poor guy, he did fill out age identification, and he did beat Surgical to zip. So that's the backstory for you guys. In reality, Peppe just had to leave. He just had real life obligations. So that's really the story in a nutshell from an unbiased source as I can possibly be. So now let's get into the matches, guys. Now I should tell you quickly, as if it wasn't obvious, this isn't official by any stretch of the imagination. It's just for fun. It's a fun thing that I thought we could do to, hey, settle the grudge, all right? And does it change the results? I'm sure a lot of you in your hearts and minds, Pepe's always going to be the winner. I'm sure a lot of you guys, Surgical Goblin's always going to be the GOAT, the greatest of all time in Clash Royale. So I know I'm not looking to change your mind on how you feel about the situation. I'm just looking to have fun. And here we are. I'm chatting through the entire first minute of the match. Surgical Goblin on the bottom, Peppe on the top. Peppe playing Lava Loon Lightning, Surgical Goblin playing Balloon Cycle. Balloon Cycle's been forever since I've seen Balloon Cycle, and he does a very good job of defense there with the E-Wiz, and he's able to pull that balloon away using the Ice Spirit to delay it a little bit, and look at that, he barely takes any damage on that right tower. Not the star I'm sure that Peppe was hoping for. That was kind of a juke move there by Surgical Goblin. He used the Knight and the Skeletons in the left lane. I think Peppe probably thought that the balloon was going to be coming. However, it was just a minor, getting some chip damage, and oh, look at that zap. Such a good zap there by Surgical Goblin. What he did was he made that Dark Goblin so he's only one-shottable by that Crown Tower with that zap, and those are those little plays that you see the pros make that really do make a difference. So Surgical Goblin here playing the Knight. Instead, he's able to cycle all the way back to the Knight. It's a fast deck, guys. Cycle back to the Knight, use the balloon in the right lane after he sees the Lava Hound go down. And look at that minor play by Surgical Goblin, guys. That minor went in the left lane in just the amount of time to still tank for the balloon before the King Tower was truly activated. You guys know how it takes a few seconds. Now, Surgical pulled the balloon on defense to his King Tower, activated that King Tower, basically just buying some more time to drop that Knight and balloon at the top again. And this, I think, guys, is going to be a 3-crown for Surgical Goblin. Indeed, it is. Well played. Surgical Goblin with the balloon cycle deck. That was fun to see by Surgical. So Surgical, for the first time, unofficially beats Peppe here. So that was a good match. We'll say a GG to these guys. Again, huge props to both of these guys for coming on. They didn't have to do this by any stretch of the imagination, but they both were, you know, adults about it and said, you know what? Let's go on, have some fun. And that's exactly what we're doing here. And Peppe says nothing he can do with this deck. And hey, let's face it, that was a tough matchup for Peppe. I don't think he expected Surgical Goblin to come out with a balloon cycle deck like that. It's been a while since we've seen that deck in the meta, and if you look at Pepe's deck, he didn't have that Inferno Tower, nothing to really stop that balloon on the other end. So that was a very difficult matchup there for Peppe. Not a lot he could have done better, but here we go, into the next match here. Now, guys, only best of 3 here, so this could be a short video. I hope it goes to 3. I'm just rooting for a fun video. But if Surgical Goblin wins here, then he is the winner of the grudge match. So Peppe able to activate his King Tower with a perfect tornado there on that Goblin Barrel from Surgical Goblin. Surgical Goblin starting out with a Goblin Barrel and a Goblin Gang. He's obviously playing some sort of a bait deck. And look at that tornado by Surgical Goblin. Perfect placement there. And that's exactly where you want to place your tornado if you're looking to activate your King Tower on an E-Wiz. That was a really good activation there by Surgical Goblin onto his King Tower. So now, for those of you keeping score at home, both King Towers are activated. So here comes the Giant coming down, lumbering down the right lane, gonna meet the Knight at the bridge there, and here comes a Dark Goblin for Surgical Goblin. Surgical Goblin is playing a Goblin heavy deck, apropos of his name, guys. Here comes Goblin Barrel. He has Goblin Gang, Goblin Barrel, Dark Goblin. Any other goblins for us, Surge? We'll have to see. But he's not doing a lot of damage, though. I mean, he's putting a lot of Goblin Barrels out there. He's trying to read. That was a good log by Surgical, able to keep that princess alive, forcing Peppe to use the baby dragon against his princess. He's able to cycle to another princess here. Now, okay, that was a pretty good job there by Peppe. He got a decent amount of damage, about 1/3 HP off that right tower. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I missed how he even did it. I think maybe it was a baby dragon? I don't know. I was too busy paying attention. I'm a terrible commentator, Ash. You're a terrible commentator. So here comes the Dart Goblin again. Dart Goblin, Goblin Barrel combo. This is going to be difficult to stop for Peppe here. And look at that Dart Goblin getting so much damage on that left tower for Surgical Goblin there. And the Dart Goblin essentially using those goblins to provide a momentary tankage, I guess, for that Dart Goblin to do some work. Now, this is going to be tricky here. A good knight placement, distracting that bowler, getting him face the opposite direction. Now he has Princess, a Spear Goblin, and a Knight, and a, oh, look at that. He used the Tornado, and then he used the Dart Goblin, and Surgical Goblin playing very good defense there with not a lot of firepower. So he does take a little bit of incidental damage to that left tower, but still things could have been much worse there. Essentially, he's able to stop that big, giant bowler push, only using a Princess, Dart Goblin, Goblin Gang, and Tornado. So here it comes again, guys, in the same placement for Surgical Goblin. Okay, I was gonna say, Pepe's last spell has to be Lightning, and he just used it. So look at the Dart Goblin. If you provide a little bit of tankage, a little bit of a buffer for that Dart Goblin, he's such a good card. He doesn't do a lot of damage per hit, but he does a lot of damage per second. So even defensively, you're seeing him do work against high HP units such as the Bowler and the Giant, guys. So now it's really anybody's game here. Anybody's game. So that was good triangulation by Surgical, having the Knight, the Dart Goblin, and the Princess. That Dart Goblin is actually going to be refocused or retargeted onto that E-Wiz, and then he's going to go ahead and use his Goblin Barrel, and Surgical Goblin is going to finish this one off, ladies and gentlemen, winning the grudge match. So he lost 0-2 in the Crown Championship, and then he won 2-0 in the CWA grudge match. So guys, was that the result that you guys were expecting at home? Huge shout out to both of these pros. Can't thank them enough for coming on. Check out both their social media information in Surgical Goblin's YouTube channel. Huge shout out again to the clans that they're a part of, Team Queso, Nova, and Alpha Esports and Gladiators. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to my sponsor, Bren Chong. Make sure you check him out in the information below, guys, as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I truly appreciate it, as always. And as always, take care, guys.